Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our final guest. He is an artist, and he is known also for his sketch work. Let's give a big round of applause for Dan Nokes.
Hurrah, everyone! Too much. How's it going there, Dan? Other Dan, that is not me.
So Dan, what made you become an artist?
Basically, it goes in line with the other thing that I do. I guess I'm a writer and storyteller that happens to have some artistic talent, and I guess my art has usually been geared towards the telling of stories. I think that's kind of led to my comics and stuff like that.
That's awesome. We have shared many of them in Dan-A-Plooza, and we will continue to share them within the page. What do you most like about the conventions, attending those as a guest?
I guess it's a chance to get a face-to-face interaction with a fan base, either making new friends and fans, or making or reconnecting with ones that have bought stuff with me before, or showed appreciation to what it is that I do.
Do you have a certain favorite conventions that you enjoy attending?
I would say, to top off, probably Baltimore Comic-Con would be like on the top of my list, just because it was the one that I started off at, as well as I tend to think of that one as my homecoming show. I also enjoy doing the Virginia Comic-Con because I work for those guys, so gotta have some favoritism towards that one as well. But like I said, I enjoy those. I enjoy oh gosh, I think at this point I think I enjoy the small one-day ones more than the multi-day ones, both from a logistical point of view. You like getting up there, getting a hotel room, or finding a place to crash, and having to like find somebody to take care of my cat while I'm out of town. I think also from the perspective of, it's got that it's like going to see a concert at a small club or theater versus going and seeing it at a stadium. Yeah, you can have like that big communal audience type of thing, but I think some of the intimacy is lost in those kind of venues, and I think it kind of extends to like the larger conventions as well, which is why I kind of like, I think I enjoy doing the firehouse shows, or the ones that are at a small school or at a hotel, rather than the giant convention center ones in general. Or at least that's my feeling and experience.
Yeah, I have the same way. I sometimes feel that you have a better experience at the smaller conventions than the bigger ones.
I think it's also, as a vendor and a creator, I have a better chance of interacting with the audience there. It's like, because they're not coming in with this sense of being overwhelmed by everything, by, I guess, like a sensory overload of everything that's there. There's like 70 or 100 vendors there with a wide variety of different stuff. It's just basically like, say, a 10 to 20 vendor thing at a small show. And you have a better chance of like, oh, they're going to go to every single person, or at least go through and check you out. Not necessarily make a sale, but at least given the opportunity to explore what you have to offer.
Yep, I think that's an excellent point of what you just illustrated, and that's what I like. Sometimes I just feel like I'm at a bigger convention just trying to pick up pieces, and I don't really connect as much because I'm in a rush, or there's so much going on.
Yeah, I mean, like again, on something like, say, a Baltimore, an Awesome Con, or New York, it's like you're like, oh, I found this great thing, I'll come back to you in a little bit, and like you'll 9 times out of 10 that you'll never see that person again. Whereas, like, say you're at a small firehouse show or something to that effect, let's say, yeah, you're going to see that guy 3-4 more times before they leave. So it might happen.
Exactly. So do you get a lot of popular requests to draw?
Define popular requests. I mean, I guess I laid enough commission work to do, I mean, to pay the bills and everything like that. I have my nice collection of regular patrons, and I manage to make a few like new ones every year in order to I guess keep that end of the business going. I think it shows. I think the thing that I sell the most of is like my comic books. I think because like with rare exception, I would definitely put Baltimore into this group. Like people that are even in the people that are set up as creators, there is a low amount of people that actually manufacture comics, let alone have something that enough material where they can compile it into like graphic novels and trade paperbacks. So at least that kind of gives me that niche over everybody else. I also get told a lot that I have a very unique style. It doesn't always necessarily translate to people wanting to get commission work from me, but I think that sometimes those, I think I, for lack of a better term, I attract the weirdos, and I'm always appreciative of the weirdos with the spare cash in order to get me to do said weird commission work.
I was wondering if there was a popular character that people sometimes ask you to draw, like a request, like a Marvel character or anybody.
Well, besides him, I guess the ones that are known to like the wider public at large. When I was starting out in my career, I think I did a lot of like either Spider-Man or Robin, but I think it's gone more towards characters that have a more comedic side of things. You know, occasionally I get like the Deadpool that comes up. Cartoon characters tend to pop up quite a bit too. Either like Calvin and Hobbes, Rick and Morty, or Daria seem to be like the top three that I keep revisiting over and over again on the sketch cover front. So yeah, definitely ones that are more from that. I like I said, I have my style is more of a, I guess whimsical, for lack of better terms. Sarcastic. Well, maybe sarcastic works as well. That lends itself to that type of artistic expression.
Yeah, and can you tell me what is available on your website for people if they're interested in purchasing?
Sure. You can basically go there. You can get either there's a link to my I'm on TeePublic now, which I started doing t-shirts. I kind of want to explore that more in the coming year. I also have my graphic novels and trade paperbacks listed up there. You can get all my current posters as well, and you can contact me for commission work.
All right, and we'll make sure to keep sharing stuff within the Dan-A-Plooza page. Can you tell me about moving on, since we're now into the holiday spirit? Is there anything you like most about the holiday spirit, Christmas?
Oh man, you talked to the wrong guy. I guess I'm more one of those anti-Christmas. I actually at one point was doing a regular bit on Facebook with drawings of this thing I did called the Christmas Legion of Doom, which was basically like Ebenezer Scrooge and all those guys formed like their own group. I am basically one of those. I think I appreciate it a little more now that I have a regular girlfriend and stuff like that. But I guess hanging out with her is my new Christmas tradition that I'm building on. Otherwise, if this were Halloween, you would be like I'm Mr. Halloween, but like Christmas, I'm just like, all right, I guess it's time. I gotta do the presents and cheers.
January yet?
Yeah. Are we on to January 5th? Like, I'll tell you this though. I appreciate winter holidays in general. I totally understand why we have them. It's because we are totally trying to BS ourselves into thinking winter is going to be okay. It doesn't matter if it's like Kwanzaa or Ramadan or Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever. It's basically, yeah, having a large amount of food and parties and festivities and lights and everything to make it all pretty, so that by the time you get to January, February, like, ooh, winter sucks. But I mean, we're already here, so might as well ride it on through. I think that's literally why we have winter holidays. It's literally to lie to ourselves that winter is going to be okay by any means necessary.
Yeah, I always feel like it prolongs and drags, and I just can't wait till spring always comes because I feel like it's always at a crawl.
Like yeah, same here. So like I said, especially around January for me is like I hate that month in general. It's like a combination of browns and grays, and it's dark at like until 8 o'clock in the morning, and it sunsets by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not the cold. I can take the cold. It's just everything else that goes along with it. So I think we have the like I said, holiday celebrations in winter in order to edge ourselves into the boring that is January and February.
I normally think like I'm a bear and I just retreat to my cave. I'll see you in March.
Right. Or at least until like the February shows come back.
Depending on the snow, I'll poke my head out.
Like I said, I live in Richmond right now, so like winters are pretty mild down here. And like I said, I'll be moving to Altoona in somewhere between April and June. So basically, I'll be coming in during the good months, but I've been that far north enough time to realize what the winter is going to be like.
All right. Tell me, since you're a Halloween guy, I'm actually a Halloween guy. What do you like most about the Halloween?
I think I like most about it is where I think Christmas in particular, but probably the winter holidays in general. It's like this structure of it's very structured. It's like what you have to do. You have to be cheerful. You have to sing these songs. You have to wear this outfit. You have to give these friends. You have to participate with this. I think Halloween is like, if you want to watch some horror movies and stay at home all by yourself, that's perfectly acceptable. If you want to go and do a haunted house with a bunch of friends and scream your heads off, go do that. If you want to hang out in the graveyard and recite like Allan Poe poems, go do that. If you want to dress up and like, hang out in your neighborhood or go to a bar and do that, like, there's no restrictions on what you can do. I think that's what I like most about it. Like, no matter what you do, it's okay, and you're still participating in your own way. It's something you can individually stylize to whatever you feel the holiday should be for you, and it can change from year to year.
Yep, you can tailor it to your needs. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's where I feel like Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that are so like, you have to do this. You have to have this big dinner, and you gotta go see the family, and you gotta go to these parties, and you have to go imbibe all these particular foods, or decorate your place in this particular way. Like if I had my way, I basically take my Halloween decorations and just put like Santa hats on the magenta.
Good enough.
There we go. Jason Voorhees has got a Santa hat. It's Christmas now. these I put Christmas lights around these eviscerated corpses in my front yard. It's totally within the festivities.
It's totally Christmas. It's kind of got like that horror movie, Black Christmas. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Is that the one with Bruce Campbell that just came out?
It might be. I know originally they made that like
that's Black Friday, I think. Yeah. Black Friday. They made a Black Friday movie, which I kind of want to check out.
Yeah, the Black Christmas movie, there is someone with a corpse with all like the lights and everything like that.
Nice. I did see the Krampus movie a few years back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty entertaining. That kind of definitely reflected my feelings and sentiments towards the holidays. Like, I can get behind this.
I love the gingerbread men in that movie.
Yeah.
With the little
I think I think my Christmas tradition is the one I have now is just finding savage reviews of the Star Wars Holiday Special and just watching that over and over again. My favorite one is by this one called Creationist Cat that just makes me laugh over and over again.
Yeah, that sounds, oh man, that's a good tradition. I might have to look into that.
I'll send you some links.
um, can you tell us, did you have any challenges as an artist during the pandemic?
Yeah, quite. I mean, it was always my goal to get further away from having to do as many conventions as I have to do in a year in order to make ends meet. But the pandemic kind of pushed things further forward than I wanted to. I kind of wanted to go at a nice leisurely place, and this one was like, oh man, I got to scramble because it hit. I want to say show starts shutting down around mid March of 2020, and right like the first 2 months were great. I went and did a show in Alaska in Fairbanks in February of 2020, and I had my best show of all time up until that point. And I came back to like Richmond, and there was like I think it was GalaxyCon that was coming in that week. I was literally coming back Wednesday from that, and then Friday was the first day of GalaxyCon. I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a downer compared to like going all the way across the country and doing a great show and helping to run that and then I had like almost as good a show there, and I was like, oh, 2020 is going to be my year, and then literally a week or two afterwards, all the shows I was planning to do in 2020 got shut down. So I was kind of having to scramble. So it's like, hey, if you guys need commissions, now's the time to hit me up. And I think that's where I put out. Like it sucked because basically I put out my chicken book at that point, and I really wanted to like push it that year. But I was kind of forced back to like do the major promotions on that and around like 2021 instead. So basically, yeah, it held me getting that book pushed a lot further. And I mean, I guess one of the ways I've lived up to the challenges is basically trying to allocate more stuff towards online oriented things, like doing quick sketch challenges and online auctions and trying to like sell books online and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's great that you found ways to still kind of work during the pandemic, and that it kind of worked in your favor. Before we wrap anything up, is there anything else you'd like to say or promote before we wrap up?
Sure. I'm finishing up getting stuff from my backers for Adam and Eve. There was a book I did called Adam and Eve: Bizarre Love Triangle on the Zombie Apocalypse. I did a 10th anniversary edition, and unfortunately, some of anything that could have gone wrong did. This is the one where basically Amazon had dropped me as yeah, Amazon KDP basically banned me from using their print stuff. So I had to go find another printer. That was just the icing on the cake of like thing. And I believe I found a printer now. I've got just about everything sent out for that, so I'm finishing that off. And right now, I'm in the midst of working on my first prose novel. It's called Kevin, or the Latter Days of Romulus Augustulus, Last Emperor of Western Rome. I'm kind of plugging it as a Dark Ages Seinfeld-esque view on the last emperor of Western Rome and what's he been up to since the fall of Western society. It was a lot of fun to do. I'm still doing little bits of editing and stuff like that, and it's not going to be devoid of my artwork. I'm working on chapter illustrations, but it's definitely something I wanted to try at least once to see if I'm any good at it. I've been told I'm a good writer, and I think the art tends to, I want to say, overtake the what I do as a storyteller. So, but at times it's has people look at art more than I always feel bad for writers and authors at comic shows because they have to sit there and plug their book, but they don't have any illustrations to go along with it. Where you guy can just like, oh, I like these pictures. How much? Um, but I want to get my hands at that once, at least once, and see if I'm any good at it. I'm at this point planning to do a Kickstarter for that in February. Besides that, I'm working on a sequel for USDA rejected called Chicken Battered and Fried, which at some point I'm going to sit down and do the artwork for. But that's probably way later down the line, maybe at earliest second half of next year. Also, next year will be the 20th anniversary of 21st Century Sandshark Studios. I did my first convention at Baltimore in 2002. So hopefully there'll be a thing or two in promotion of that as well.
Well, congratulations on your anniversary. I'd like to thank you being a guest on my time. Thank you for being on Dan-A-Plooza. Our next guest will be Monday at 8 p.m. Everybody have a good evening and take care.